Hello and welcome everybody to today's Commodities Corner presented by myself, Phil Carr at the Gold and Silver Club. Today, guys, during today's session, we will be covering the biggest trading opportunities, of course, right now, how to use fixed odds trading for maximum profits. We'll cover live market analysis and we'll be identifying high probability trade setups on the commodities, as well as answering any questions that you may have during the session. Now, a quick recap for you. The commodities that we trade on binary.com include the following. So we'll be looking at gold, silver, palladium, and platinum. And on the energies, we'll be having a look at crude oil. In fact, crude oil is looking very interesting at the moment after retesting $50 per barrel. So with that, we will definitely take a look at oil as well as the precious metals as well. So first of all, before we get started, let me introduce you to the Gold and Silver Club. The Gold and Silver Club is the world's #1 commodities trading and investment coaching company. We're regarded as the go-to authority on commodities trading, and as internationally respected experts, our analysis and our opinions on the metals, the energies, and the agricultural markets, they're routinely sought by major financial television channels and publications, and that includes Bloomberg, Reuters, CNBC, Global Banking Finance Review, the Wall Street Journal. Our team of experts has trained and mentored over 100,000 private traders from all over the world to increase their wealth and generate substantial monthly income through commodities using our signature trading strategies. So for more information on the Gold and Silver Club and our expertise, please feel free to visit our website, which is www.thegoldensilverclub.com. Okay, so with that said, let's have a look at the price of gold at the moment. Currently, gold is trading at $1,220 per ounce. Now, I'll definitely draw your attention to a few news announcements that we've got coming up. In the next hour, we have US GDP, so that is likely to affect certainly the US dollar index and inversely the price of gold here. So we'll be having a look at that over the course of the next hour. We're keeping an eye on that. The big news really coming out today is going to be at 6:15 London time, which is Fed Chairman Janet Yellen is speaking later on this afternoon. And often her speeches, they do have quite a lot of volatility and high impact, certainly on the US dollar index, but also on gold, silver, and other commodities. So that is something just to be aware of as we head into the US session later on this afternoon, that we're expecting to have a high impact effect on the market. Now, over the course of this week, we have seen some impressive gains on commodities. We saw crude oil hit $50 a barrel, so prices have risen now 80% since January. We've seen a huge gain off the 12-year lows at the beginning of the year. This week, oil prices, they hit that level for the first time this year, and of course, 2016 highs as well. Oil prices have risen from the lows of $27 a barrel, and the key driver more recently in the short term has been the disruptions to oil supplies, which has offset higher production from Iran and also Saudi Arabia. So I'll dig a little bit deeper into that. Essentially, over the last week, we've seen uncertainty in Nigeria, export troubles in Libya, wildfires across the Canadian oil sands, reviving the bullish bets that crude prices will rally in the near term. And we've also seen oil net long positions, so buyers in the market, increase the amount of buy positions, increase the amount of contracts by 30,475 contracts to 2,460,996, the biggest gain since March this year. So we've definitely seen an increase again in institutional and hedge funds coming into this market. So we've certainly seen with that a breakout again this week to the upside. Now, what I do want to put on your radar as we transition into June now is the following. If you have a look at the typical price trend as we enter into the second half of the year, you'll note typically we start to roll over as we head into June, July, August. We tend to reach a peak over the month of May here. So if you have a look at the historical charts, and especially more recently, 2014, 2015, often as we go into May and June, this tends to be the peak of oil, and it starts to roll over and break down in the latter part of the year. Now, one major news announcement you want to have, certainly in your diary at the moment, if you've got a trading diary or if you've got some sort of calendar that you use for trading, have the following dates on that, if you haven't done so already, and if you trade oil especially. Next Thursday, the 2nd of June, is going to be the OPEC meeting in Vienna, and that can have a very high impact, certainly a high impact move on the markets, especially oil next week. We saw from the previous OPEC meeting in December, that was December the 4th, 2015, on that announcement, afterwards, in the following 3 to 4 months, we saw oil break down 1,900 points, breaking down to 12-year lows. And a lot of that catalyst came from the OPEC meeting. So it is definitely going to be one to watch. That's next Thursday. That will be very important. Also, for those of you who trade commodities, especially the precious metals, do bear in mind, next Thursday, we've got also the ECB meeting, which will have a big impact in the markets. And next Friday, non-farm payroll. So there's quite a lot of volatility in stall over the next week, and we've got Janet Yellen speaking this afternoon as well. And then as we head into mid-June, we've got the FOMC statement on the 15th of June regarding the interest rate decision in America, which again is likely to have a big impact on the market. So quite a few major news announcements coming up. With that, we're having a very close look at the overall price structure of oil right now. And if this is the short-term top at $50 per barrel, it could represent a good sell-short opportunity in the weeks to come here. So just have that on your radar right now. We do expect oil's next big move to be decided by next Thursday's OPEC meeting. That will be important. And of course, we'll join you next Friday for the Commodities Corner. We'll discuss that in a little bit more detail, the actual results from that OPEC meeting. Now, in terms of hedge funds and the overall net positions they've got, we've seen an increase in bullish commodity bets again here to 2-year highs of 1.15 million lots, 1.15 million lots. Okay, so that's been again another increase by the hedge funds, by institutions. We've seen longer-term investors add more positions again to commodities on some of the pullbacks we've had over the last week. In particular, we've seen a lot of inflows into the grains, into agriculture markets. So I'll give you some stats here. Just bear with me as I move over to another screen. Yeah, so far this year, the top performing commodities is soybeans, which is up 23% so far this year. Sugar is up 17% this year to date. Gold is up 14% year to date. Crude oil is now up 13% year to date, and corn is up 11%. So you can see we've had some impressive moves on the agricultural complex so far in 2016. Our research shows agricultural commodities, they're back in demand. Hedge funds increasing their bullish net long positions to the highest now since 2014. Soybeans and sugar are the most sought after at the moment. We've seen again breakouts over the course of this week. We've seen both soybeans and sugar breaking out to 2016 highs just this week again. So there's a very strong investment demand for those commodities. So with that, before I go into technical analysis, we'll just go over the top trades of the week using the Gold and Silver Club signature trading strategy. So we've had some good opportunities again this week. Brent crude oil came up to $50 per barrel just yesterday, and it couldn't breach that level. It came up to that level, didn't manage to really close above it. We got a rejection candle towards the close, and that's just given us another opportunity to sell off this $50 per barrel zone. So for those of you who've been on our previous sessions, especially the earlier session this week, and also actually last Friday's Commodity Corner, you'll know we'd be looking to sell oil around the $50 per barrel level. So this offered another opportunity to get in for a sell. Just a very quick trade on this one, just for the trade to close lower by the close of the day. Full trade for the price to be lower, and that's worked out nicely from a break below 49.90. We'll also have a look at another opportunity on oil today as well as I move over to the technicals. Palladium has given us a rise trade after we came back down to a major level of support this week. We've essentially got into quite a strong oversold condition here on Palladium. So we've gone for an entry at 538, which has just been a very simple buy trade for the price to be higher the following day, which has just followed through here really nicely. In fact, Palladium is still ramping up today. And we've also continued to be in our swing trade from Platinum, which was a position that we took last week after Wednesday's FOMC, after the minutes of the FOMC were released, and that then saw a breakout in the US dollar, and we've seen a breakdown essentially in precious metals. That's been a nice sell short opportunity on Platinum for a full trade for the price to be lower, selling at $1,024 per ounce. So with that, guys, we'll move over to the technicals. We'll move over to the charts. Before we do so, let me just outline the two types of trades that we will be having a look at today. We'll be having a look at the higher or lower type of trade. So depending on your level of experience, some of you, if you're absolutely new to binary.com, maybe this is your first webinar, your first session, this will definitely help just to clarify how you can take advantage of the moves in the markets. For those of you who are more experienced, you've been on binary, you've been using binary for a while now, this will just be a bit of a recap for you guys. So essentially, using a higher or lower type of trade it's a great tool for your trader toolbox. Okay, it enables you to, especially today, we've got a lot of volatility, and as we go into next week, there's going to be a lot of volatility, which means that you'll see stop hunting in the market. You'll see essentially volatility, and with that, you can see erratic moves in the markets where normally normal stop losses can get triggered, and essentially you could lose a trade where you've actually got the direction right, but just couldn't take the volatility on that particular market. What a trade on binary.com enables you to do is it enables you to take a trade where there's a lot of volatility in that market, but all you've really got to do is get the direction right over the specified time frame, and the trade only needs to close 1 point or 1 tick in the direction that you specify, and you win the entire trade. So that can work out really nicely for volatile markets where there's a lot of news going on as well, where all you're looking for is the price to close 1 point in your overall direction. It doesn't need to close 100, 200, 300 points. That's useful for another type of platform, another type of trading. But binary.com and the way that we take these trades is an excellent tool to have in your toolbox to take advantage of certainly volatile markets. Also swing trading, it can work very well where you know the overall direction of the market, but again, you need to be able to take account for the volatility. So you essentially, trading this way, you don't need a stop loss, number one. You don't need to take profit, number two. All you need to do is you just need to get the direction of the trade right. You need to also get the entry on that trade right, and also the time frame. So you marry those three criteria together, and that results in profitable trading. And again, the way that we trade the markets, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, the Gold and Silver Club, it's research-driven trading. So we've shown you some research at the start today just relating to oil and some of the moves that we've seen on commodities over this week. So a lot of research goes into each of the trades that we take at the Gold and Silver Club, gives us a stronger edge on our trades. And then essentially we are looking for the technicals just to marry up to give us our entry and time frame on the trade. So I hope that helps, just to clarify, guys. I know we've got a lot of newer traders on these webinars, which is great to see you. But if you haven't traded on this platform before, that is how you utilize the platform. And of course, if you are a more seasoned trader, bit of a recap. Okay, so let's move over to live technical analysis and trading. As always, guys, keep the questions coming. We do value your contribution. If there's no questions, that's absolutely fine. But if there are questions, more than happy to go through those during the course of the session as well. Okay, so let me just get my screen ready here for you guys, and we can have a look at the price structure. I will start off, we'll have a look at the US dollar probably first. Just bear with me as I switch my screens. Okay, perfect. You should be able to see my chart now, guys. If you could just confirm that you can see my screen, that would be perfect. And you can hear me okay. Sometimes when we do a screen share, the audio goes. Perfect. Thanks, Reese. Okay, great. So what we'll look at first, let's have a look at the US dollar index. So essentially, just to put you in the overall context, let's just update you really with the overall context of where we are with the US dollar since last week's minutes were released from the FOMC statement, the Federal Reserve. So if you missed some of the sessions that we've done on Commodities Corner last week, or the session that we did earlier on this week on binary, let me just fill you in. Essentially, last week on Wednesday, the Federal Reserve surprised the markets by now alluding to a possible interest rate hike as soon as about 3 weeks away now, as soon as about 2.5 weeks away, when we have the next FOMC statement on the 15th of June. So with that, where there previously was not so much hope for another interest rate to go ahead this soon in the year, now the Federal Reserve have put it back on the table. With that, we've seen a big surge in the US dollar index. We've seen the overall sentiment, big follow through. The overall sentiment is very strong to the upside. We've seen follow through over the course of Thursday and Friday, broke above, you can see the 50-day moving average, we broke above that level, and we've shot back up to the upper end of this trend channel on the US dollar index. So right now we are hovering around resistance. We've got into an overbought condition over the last few days. We're starting to roll over with the US dollar, but we've got key news announcements coming out today. We have US GDP coming out in 45 minutes, and Janet Yellen is set to speak again this afternoon. So the big question is whether the US dollar is on this news this afternoon, whether it's going to pop higher here, whether it's going to break out above resistance and cause a sell-off on commodities again, or whether it's going to break down. And it should, in terms of its technicals, it is overbought at the moment. You would expect it to have a little bit of trouble at the upper end of this trend channel. It's got quite a lot of overhead resistance right now. It's yesterday broke below the previous day's low, broke below a key level of support, but it could still go either way on the news, which is occurring this afternoon. So we're watching the US dollar and the inverse correlation very closely. If we move over to the gold market at the moment, gold did break down overnight, but it's been supported at a critical level of support around the 12.05 to the 12.15 level at the moment. You can see a rejection candle forming at this level of support. There's been support at this level previously going back to March when we pulled back over mid-March a couple of times where we found buyers back in this market. You've got a key moving average at this level. There's a key Fibonacci level just underlying as a support level just below here as well. So we're very interested today to see whether gold will hold around these current levels, whether it will rally back up towards the upper end of its resistance channel here. It's just formed a support and resistance channel in the short term here. We can just overlay that on the chart. Let's see if we can just show you that. Yeah, essentially you've got, let me just bring that out to candlestick chart. We've essentially got at the moment a shorter term trend channel which has been developing on gold more recently, and we're currently testing the lower end of that channel at the moment. So we could get a pop back up to resistance, but I would suggest at the moment waiting a little bit longer unless you've got a position on gold already. It's not going to be until 6 o'clock this afternoon, so about the next 6 hours or so, 6 o'clock London time, until we actually see Janet Yellen giving that speech. So we're probably not going to see too much movement on gold here. Overall, in the earlier hours in the Asia Pacific session, we did see a bit of a bounce to the upside here on gold. It is getting supported at the moment, but I would wait until the speech is over this afternoon before entering into a fresh position, just in case there's a better opportunity to get in here at a better price, or that will really give us the stimulus and the confirmation that we need. If we were to see gold rally later on this afternoon off that announcement, it might give rise to a buy opportunity as well. If we have a look at some of the other metals right now, if we have a look, for example, at palladium is rallying this morning. We can see that we've come right off the lower end of a major support zone. A couple of days worth of rallies, V-shaped reversal pattern. So palladium leading at the moment out of the metals. Platinum as well, similar price structure here to gold right now. It's also come back down to a trend channel. You can see just an underlying supportive zone right now. So we're watching that carefully into the close. They are oversold. The metals are oversold, but they could still have another leg lower before they go up, just depending on how the GDP numbers come out this afternoon and what Janet Yellen has to say at the Federal Reserve. So it's something to be mindful of. Silver, very similar as well here. It did come down overnight, but it's essentially formed a rejection candle. We're back at a key level of support, so watching silver carefully to see if it does pop higher or if it closes with some support here later on this afternoon. So we're watching these markets very carefully, but for me, they're worth staying out of at the moment, just sitting on your hands, waiting for a better opportunity, which will likely occur later on in the session or could occur on Monday now. Just really want that data to come out, especially the US GDP numbers this afternoon and the speech by Janet Yellen. So with that, what can we look at? What can we have a look at this afternoon? Well, definitely oil. So oil right now, you can see nice rejection candle formed again yesterday. Couldn't really struggling to close above the $50 level. Came back up to that major level of resistance. It's rolling over again. It's broken back down. And I'm looking for, again, another sell short opportunity here for it to break down lower and come back down towards the lower end of the trend channel. Same situation really with light sweet crude oil as well. Struggling with the $50 per barrel level. Key psychological area of resistance. That was a key resistance on the chart as well, going back towards the end of 2015. You can see that was a major level of resistance on the chart in July last year, also October, November. We couldn't really sustain above that level. We've had a lot of rejection around that level. You've got to remember, so far this year, oil has rallied off the 12-year lows 80% to the upside. And if this is the start of a deeper correction, if this is the high essentially which is being put in right now, it could offer quite a lucrative opportunity to go for a sell short. It's always more difficult to pick a top of the market, to pick that actual turning point. But in the short term, certainly it is suggesting that oil could start to roll over. It's been a tremendous move over the course of 2016 last year, but our research also our seasonality factors are showing us that we could be about to top out. Now, we will get further confirmation likely next Thursday on the OPEC meeting, but this could be, in the short term, the start of a potential rolling over of price, start to break down a little bit further at this point. So with that, I do like oil here for an opportunity to go for a short-term sell. We'll be looking to take on more trades next week, especially after the OPEC announcement, which is next Thursday. So again, have that in your diary. OPEC meeting in Vienna next Thursday, and the result of that will be important for the next direction here for oil. So I'm going to personally have a look at a trade setup here for oil. So let me just configure my deal ticket for this. Let's have a look what we can get. Okay, go out to 12 o'clock, and I'll just bring this out to you in just a second, guys. Okay, Okay, perfect. So essentially what I'm going to look at here is a lower trade for oil. See if I can bring that out. Okay, good. So I'm looking to purchase a full trade at this point. So I'm looking for a deposit on oil here of 1,133 US dollars for a $2,000 payout. That will be a start time of 12. So that'll be in the next 9 minutes or so. This trade will start. 76% payout there. You can see the return, 76% return. So investment on that trade. The risk on the trade is 1,133 US dollars for a $2,000 payout. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and execute that trade. We'll just double check everything. Duration is 6 hours. I'm going to be in and out of this by the close of today. I'll probably look for more trading opportunities on oil next week. But in the short term, I'm looking to take advantage of sentiment in the market right now and momentum. So I'm going to go for a lower trade here. So let's just go ahead, purchase that. Okay, perfect. So that has been done. I've gone ahead and I've taken a sell short here on oil. So you can see it's breaking down nicely. We came up to key resistance around 50 US dollars per barrel. Couldn't get above that level again. It's been important resistance. You can see that very clearly on the chart where we've got this overhead resistance of $50 per barrel, and oil's really been unable to successfully close above that level yet again. It's not really been able to close above that level since July 2015. So this is a very important level of resistance. You will naturally get traders taking profit at that level and other traders adding to sell short because there is a big risk to reward potential around this level. So if you can imagine, if you have successfully at this point, for argument's sake, if you pick the top here on oil, if this is the top in the short term, and you're going for a sell short. So let's say it can be on binary or it can be on another platform, but let's just give you an example. Both binary, which have gone for a sell short in the short term here. So sell short, by the way, guys, so in case you're, again, just new to trading, when I say sell short, essentially we're taking advantage of the market breaking down. We are going for a trade to take advantage of the market selling. So we're going for a sell short, which means we'll take advantage of a move lower. We'll make money as the price breaks down. That's essentially what we're looking to do here. On a risk reward perspective here, you can see where this has the potential, if this is the short-term top, to provide a huge risk reward. Okay, 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1, and so forth, if it was to continue to break down significantly this year. So for that reason, obviously keeping a very close eye on oil here for longer term trades as well. It's not fully confirmed yet. It's at the starting stages. I would need to see a little bit more of a breakdown in the days to come, and I'd need confirmation from OPEC next Thursday as well. But at this point in time, I do like oil for a short term sell opportunity. Okay, so that is definitely something to have on your radar right now. So in terms of really the trading plan today, our trading plan is selling oil at this point in time, and for the precious metals, we're watching very closely how the US dollar index is going to perform over the course of the US session this afternoon, how gold is going to do. You can see gold is getting, at the moment, some support at a key support zone, but we need a little bit more confirmation here to see if we'll get follow through. You can see yesterday we got a break above the previous day's high. Didn't quite follow through. It's come back down again. You've seen a false break of support here. So essentially traders who sold at this level, they've sold from this rejection candle, would be a little bit concerned at this point that we've got very strong support right now at a key level, key moving average and a key level of support. So you might start to see traders who are selling actually coming out of the position and just being a bit wary before Janet Yellen speaks this afternoon in the US GDP numbers. So really at this point, gold could go either way. So it could either break out towards the upper end of resistance or it could break down a little bit further. But I would say there's a lot of underlying support at this level. It's getting quite oversold at the moment on the chart, but I would still wait for additional confirmation here on gold. But I see oil as the best opportunity right now for a sell. Okay, fantastic. So I don't think there's any more questions on that at the moment, guys. As I mentioned before, next week we've got the European Central Bank announcement next Thursday. We've got the OPEC meeting on Thursday and non-farm payrolls on Friday. So we'll be providing all those updates to our traders real time on our webinars and also as part of our private members live trading room. So again, I get a lot of questions on this. If you would like an opportunity to join us at the Gold and Silver Club, you can do so. You would need to make an application really ASAP to get all of that information, to get our live trading ideas ready to implement. There's a lot of opportunities just around the corner now. Even this afternoon, later on today, we've got a lot of opportunities potentially on the back of Janet Yellen's speech and US GDP numbers. And next week as well, there's a lot of news items. The European Central Bank, OPEC, non-farm payroll can really provide you with some very lucrative returns. So I would definitely suggest, if you are interested, I'll provide you details of how you can actually get access to that. In fact, let me just put it into the chat here so you can all just have a look. So it's just at www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com. Okay, and you also feel free, of course, just have a look at our website and have a look at the packages that we've got available on there. If you are, of course, a new trader, you're new to trading the markets, this will definitely give you a solid understanding and fast track your results. And also, if you're an experienced trader, especially you might be experienced in Forex or you might be experienced in equities or the stock market, but you really want to take your trading in commodities to the next level, then this program is definitely for you. What it includes, as a member of the live trading room, you get exclusive access to our weekly live trading room webinars throughout the week. You get live trade setups ready to implement, real-time trade notifications so you don't miss any profitable trades. You get exact details of where we are entering, exiting every single trade, live trade support to help you successfully through each setup, customized technical charts and indicators for you, especially if you don't have access to a lot of commodity markets. We get that a lot where traders who join us, they just don't have the access to the breadth of the markets that we do. We can provide all that to you, and the level of research that we get, we also provide that for you as well as being a member of the Gold and Silver Club. So essentially, if you would like to take action now, all you need to do is go to www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com, complete the application form, and we'll get in touch with you ASAP. I've just dropped the link there as well into the chat. It's www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com. Okay, excellent. And also, of course, if you've got any questions, feel free to contact us at our UK office, our US office, our Africa office, or our Asia office. Numbers on the screen, but I'll read them out to you as well. UK office 0207 193 0403. Our US office is +1 646 808 0403, and our Africa office is +27 11 083 8403, and our Asia office is +852 8191 0403. Okay, and if you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to also the binary.com YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the commodity corners that we do. Those are all uploaded on there after these sessions. So if you ever happen to miss a session, you can rewatch those. And also make sure you subscribe to the Gold and Silver Club YouTube channel as well. Just the Gold and Silver Club, so you get all of our latest reports too. Okay, so just make sure you do that. If you watch YouTube videos and you have subscriptions, just make sure you also subscribe to the Gold and Silver Club too, guys. Okay, fantastic. And of course, I very much look forward to working with those of you who will be joining us at the Gold and Silver Club. So with that, good trading. Look forward to hear from those of you who will be getting in touch, and we'll speak to you real soon. Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you, Sharice. Take care. We'll speak to you on the next one. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.